Welcome everyone to the show today. And we have Prajwal with us, and he is just 16 years old, and he have moved his life and denoted a lot of portion of his life towards spirituality. So he will be sharing his life journey and how spirituality changed his life and what significant role the spirituality played in his life. So welcome, Prajwal. Can we get started with your small introduction, brother?
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yes, sure. So I'm Prajwal, I'm 16 and I'm from Bangalore basically. So spirituality came really early in my life. Not spirituality basically. There was a sense of, devotion. Like devotion is a very important aspect in spirituality. I did have a devotional aspect in my life because of my grandmom. Uh, my grandmom being very, very spiritual, I've spent a lot of time with her. So naturally, a sense of devotion was there within me, and I never explored it, or I didn't feel it was a great thing. Then after some time, when I was 11, 12 years old, I started getting exposure to actual spirituality and what it is with internet, basically, when I started seeing stuff. And I understood it's such a beautiful thing, spirituality. Like, no, it has so many dimensions to it, and spirituality is one thing which changed my life. So what is spirituality and stuff, we can discuss it later.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a very important thing for me, spirituality, and I'm thankful for being spiritual. I'm grateful for it. Yes.
So that seems to be good, that like your story began from your grandma and it is right now with you and you get exposure for that. And that is a great thing. Exactly. So what exactly spirituality does it mean to you? In a simple term, if you like to discuss with us.
Spirituality, we can actually tell it in two ways. One is, getting to know life as it is. When I say life, when I ask someone what is life for you, they may tell my life is my car, my bungalow, my children, my family, and everything. We can tell, when they tell life, they mean all the accessories of life, basically. What things they can have it or they do not have it doesn't make a difference to their life. Exactly. So life is a basic amount of time and energy, what we can actually tell it. All the other things are just accessories of life. So knowing the true nature of what the life is, what the basic element of life, we can tell that is spirituality. Or if you want to put it in other words, what is the true nature of yourself? In the sense, when I ask someone, what do you refer to as you? What am I? It's very fashionable for people to know who am I. They ask it when they tell they're spiritual. It's just a very broad aspect. So they may tell I'm the body, right? So if I ask you one question, Bibek, now, imagine you're wearing a accessory or a ring for around 10 years now.
Okay, sure.
Right? You're wearing it for 10 years. Sure. So if you remove this ring and you tell, what is this? You may tell, this is your ring.
Yes, this is my ring.
The term your is very important. This is your ring. But you're wearing it for 10 years now. Why can't you tell this is me? Why can't you tell this ring is me?
Exactly.
Because it's something you've collected from outside. Right?
Exactly, from external.
Anything which you collect can be yours, but it can never be you. Yeah, it's come from external source. So we can tell this is you. Yours, sorry. So in the same way, if you look at your body,
exactly,
when you were born, you were just so much, you could hold it in two hands. And now if you look at yourself, you're around 56, 55 kilos now. So what has happened basically is your body is just the accumulation of the food that you've eaten throughout the years, right?
Sure.
If you're not eaten well, you would have looked some other way.
Exactly.
Basic entity for your body is the food that you eat, which is collected from outside, which is accumulated from outside. So telling the body is me is sort of wrong. It's not completely wrong, but it is not the true thing.
Perhaps.
Now you may tell my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, this can be me, right? No, if I again tell you that if I take away your five senses, right? If you can't see, touch, taste, smell, or hear, or anything like that, no, all the content of your mind, what you tell this mind as, is just because of your five senses. If I take away your
Sure.
senses, you don't have anything. Yeah.
I'm left with a
So
small
this
body.
is also a sense of collection. Yeah. So this is also a sense of collection, right? So anything that you collect, when it cannot be you, it can be yours. Then, in a sense, your body and your mind is not you. So getting to know the true nature of life can be spirituality. No, why do we need to know this thing? What is me and stuff?
Exactly.
Let's get to that. No, I'm not
Sure.
telling, right? Why should everything is collected? Then what is the true nature of yourself? This thing, why should we know it basically?
Exactly. What should you know? You and
The
me
human
and
system, now human beings are the most evolved creatures. Yeah. So human beings are the most evolved creatures on the planet, right?
Yes. Right.
So if most of the people are stuck like animals, I need to tell you, what do animals do basically? They eat, they sleep, reproduce, die.
Understand.
Even humans have kept it in the same way. They may have bungalows and money and stuff, but basically their life ends in eating, sleep, eating the richest food, enjoying the greatest lifetime, reproducing and dying. Right.
That's true.
So what? When you're human, you have such a great capability
The
to
mind.
go beyond these survival processes. Right.
Exactly.
So getting to know beyond the survival processes becomes very important. So one biggest thing and one of the most significant thing a human can do is know the true nature of his self. So that's why breaking the limitations is the only thing that spirituality teaches. Going beyond survival processes is what spirituality is, in a very broad aspect. We
Exactly.
can
If you
go
just
very
break
deep
it.
into it, but I don't think it will be
Exactly.
wonderful.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm getting the points. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
this
that
is the
is most
broad
important.
aspect. This is the broad aspect what actually we need. Yeah. So as a byproduct, you will surely get mental peace, well-being, health. Everything is a byproduct of all this thing. So if you want to know the true nature, like
Of yourself.
what the life, if I tell it life, the same life is throbbing within every creature, every human, everything. The whole creation is made up of this aspect called life, what's within you. So it's like the creator himself. So when the creator is within, and when you try to explore him, when you try to explore life
from inside,
do you think all depression, the psychological activities it doesn't matter? When the creator is functioning from within you, when you know the creator himself, all the mental issues and everything will just recede in a big way. So as a byproduct, spirituality surely gives people a sense of well-being, happiness, and all mental peace and everything. So if you don't want to look into spirituality for life and exploring yourself also, surely spirituality will give you health and well-being. It's a natural outcome, I can tell. So at least people should get into spirituality for these things.
Not for that other big things or for the big dreams. At least for
if you don't want it, at least for your well-being,
mental peace and well-being, and just living your best of the ability and potential, right?
Best of it. Yeah. Living to your best. That's what.
At least.
Going beyond survival process, living to your best should be the aim for everyone. In that, spirituality does help.
Let us come out of this box, just eating the food and sleeping and just reproduction and just dying. Let us come out of this box. Just think a little bit out of this box. That seems to be good. I was, my perception about spirituality was quite different before this statement, which you just tell correctly. That seems to be good.
What happens is basically, I'll tell you one thing here. People usually, have a confusion between spirituality and religion.
Exactly.
They think what religion and what we practice is spirituality. Let me give you a correction there. Religion is all about belief. It's just belief. I believe in one person, a book, or a thing.
This is
Major religions of the world told you this thing. This is religion.
Exactly.
Religion is a belief. They believe in a book, they believe in a god, or
A particular
believe
person.
in some person.
Exactly.
A particular person. That's what religion is. It's a basic belief idea. Now, what is the thing with belief? I'll tell you. I can make you sit here. I can give you some drugs and stuff. I can make you believe you're in US. Belief is a very tangible thing here. I can make you believe anything in the world.
Exactly.
I can fool you in 1001 ways with a belief.
Sure, exactly.
That's what religion is. I don't want to tell it as a bad thing also here, but the modern day religion has become like this. I need to tell you.
You're right.
Any religion in the world, any religion has become like this. It's just a bunch of belief without understanding, without any experience or understanding. They just follow. That becomes religion.
Exactly. Blindly they are following that path.
Yeah, it's blind. It's blind. If it does have a base, if it does have a scientific base and has a process to it also, if you follow anything blindly, it's a waste of time.
Sure, exactly.
Right?
You're wasting
it doesn't have any meaning, it becomes religion. Yes. So if now spirituality is not a belief system, it's not ideology or anything like that. It's a true experiential process. It is like a scientific process. Okay, if you work with spirituality and spiritual process in a way, it will 100% give you benefits.
Exactly.
Now, religion, we cannot tell if it will give you benefits or not.
You're right.
But
you're not sure about that.
One thing, yeah. If I give you a certain simple process, like any meditation or any yoga practice, you'll 100% be able to see the benefit come out.
Exactly.
So
sure.
That's why spirituality is a very wonderful thing, right? It gives you benefits. And religion may have a spiritual base, but without understanding, if you just follow
blindly,
it's no different. If it doesn't have any use, I can tell you.
Exactly, you're just waiting a particular time.
Our culture, if I need to tell you, our culture, what we call the culture in India, which is around 15,000-20,000 years old, it is not a religion, I can tell you. It has become now, but I'm telling the basic element. I'm telling what's the base element of this culture in India. It's a whole scientific process. It was so scientifically, I researched so much about all these things. You won't believe me. I've been researching about all these stuff from so much time now. There's a scientific base, there's such an understandable base to everything. It's so beautiful, it's beyond imagination sometimes. So beautiful. But what has happened over the course of time, what the scientific base is, what the actual base is, has been removed.
Okay.
And only the psychological part and the materialistic part, what has only been kept. So it becomes useless after some time. If you truly understand what is there in this culture and if you follow it with understanding, it's no less of a spiritual process and it's not a religion. Yeah, the point is you need to understand and you need to know its benefits to get its benefits. Right, it's like that.
Sure.
So that's why people know, without understanding now, without seeing what it is, understanding, it's become basically a belief. So people are losing it. We think we are the greatest minds on the planet. We can intercept, break everything. This is correct, this is wrong. We know to tell everything is correct or wrong. So people don't have the understanding. So they'll disbelieve it. And all the process, all the major religions or all the practices, great things which have happened in this country are being lost in 20, 30 years, people are losing it.
Exactly.
Because of education and everything. There are people who don't know why it is. So people will question it. People ask questions, people don't know answers. So they'll be like, this is useless, and they leave it.
And that's
what is happening now.
And that is
so
getting
it's very
lost.
important that people, it's very important that, so it's very important that people actually know the benefits and know why it is being done. That's a very important aspect. So here also spirituality is very important. When you get a experience or when you know what spirituality is, when you do something spiritual, everything else you'll be able to understand it. Anything you do, any process you do at home, Indian houses, we do so many things, so many
Full of the
beliefs
things.
and so many rituals and everything we do have. It's full of rituals and everything. So
At all.
if we have a tinge of spirituality in you, that time we can determine, is this really beneficial? This is not beneficial.
Exactly. I can differentiate at that
This is
moment
correct,
also.
this is not correct. You can differentiate. So here we lose the things which are not important. What is actually important, we can keep it forward for the further generations.
For generation.
Instead of totally losing everything, we can take something with us, right?
Remove some portion and leave this
Take
portion.
something valuable from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, when you're spiritual, you're into spiritual, you'll be able to tell this is correct, this is wrong, this is can leave it, this I should not leave it and take it further. There, our culture is also not lost. Such a profound culture, we cannot just lose it, right?
Sure, exactly.
So when
We
you're
cannot lose
spiritual,
that.
you can know it better and you can take it forward better.
Exactly.
You got my point? Yes.
Yeah, sure. I'm able to analyze the things and relate the things with because I'm also from an Indian family, so I'm able to relate the quite very frequently. That happens in this Indian mindset. They will be believing in just the things which has been told by our ancestor. Directly, they are following that, rather than just finding a point and a base why that is happening, blindly following that. Exactly. So, Praja, I would just like to ask you that how did spirituality impacted your life? Or if I just modify this question, how did spirituality change your life?
Temple alone. I never used to pray or anything in the temple as such. I used to love the environment of a temple. So I used to see people coming, the flowers, the fruits. It used to be a very colorful thing for me. I used to go sit in the temple a lot. So as a kid also, I had a very different opinion and different ideology as such from my childhood. I was not like other kids. Even now, no, I had a different understanding for everything.
Exactly. You to relate
So
things
after that,
in different way.
I started liking it in a certain way. I would start getting attracted to a certain way. There was nothing more that was happening. So after that, when I actually started getting to know from people what is this dimension called spirituality, the great people in India who have told various things about it, like Sadhguru, Ravi Shankar and everything, they are great for what spirituality is actually. This culture, I used to love the culture behind our religion. Such a beautiful thing which happens. Why shouldn't we know what it is?
Exactly, from deep perspective.
After that, when I used to read it, I used to long hours of my day, all kinds of people explaining what is spirituality, why is it important and stuff. So after that, at a point of my life, it was only watching videos, nothing else, just getting information.
You're just doing some basic research about it.
2 years ago. It was only, at least the point of view. Nothing else. It had no impact on me or anything. It was just psychological.
Exactly.
There was no great changes that I could see. But it started. The step was a big important. It just started like that.
Exactly.
So around 1 or 2 years ago, when I started following a foundation called Isha Foundation, they give out tools and everything. If you know Sadhguru and
Sadhguru, exactly.
So I started getting admired to these things, and then I actually started practicing. Till that point of time, it was only psychological, so no actual changing. But when I started practicing certain things, I generally started practicing yoga and meditations and stuff. If I look at myself 2 years ago and now, great changes. I can tell you great changes have happened. What my practice are very simple, but still the understanding how I take in things, and how I look at people. The most important thing what I have noticed within myself
Okay.
is the way I look at the outside situations and the people around me. Right?
Okay. Just looking at your
I
environment and
tend to
analyzing
see
that.
everything as, yeah, analyzing it is a very beautiful thing. Everyone does, but how I look at it has become very different. I look at everything as opportunity, a beautiful thing. As if it's a simple thing, also I tend to love it. Okay, anything simple also, it's beautiful for me.
Exactly.
And the mental, I feel very calm. I don't get angry much, or all this usual psychological things what teenagers usually face. I'm not into that. I don't
Good thing.
feel any mental stress, depression, not much. There are points where I do feel, but
Feel more.
comparatively, what others feel, it's very, very less. It's very, very less.
Exactly.
I
Side by
will
side
tell you,
comparison to a
school,
teenager like you.
yeah, not like usual teenagers. In school, people do see that I am like this, and they tend to ask questions and everything. So I used to see that every teenager has problems in life. So
Sure, exactly.
teenage it's a very difficult age, I can tell you. So they have all
Exactly.
sorts of problems. Everyone has problems, I agree. But this age, the problems that you face is very difficult. It's very
Very
different.
difficult.
Older people have problems, but they know where to get answers from. But
Exactly. They have
teenagers, one
experienced that.
period, if you have questions also, you don't know where to ask. Yeah, we don't know how to ask answers. Parents in Indian societies, usually children don't go with problems, mental problems and stuff. People don't feel free to ask parents, society, and stuff. There's a taboo, right? So usually, what happens? They'll search the internet, they'll take out wrong steps and stuff. You'll
Correct.
not believe I've seen so many people with so many issues. Simple issues. It'll be so simple. They'll make it such a huge thing. I can tell
Exactly.
you, one girl, because some boy didn't talk to her, some unknown boy
Okay.
didn't talk to her.
Okay.
She went and stood on the 27th floor about to jump. Such crazy things do
Just for a
happen.
simple
It does
problem.
happen, I'm telling you. So I'm telling you this. Yeah, this is a simple problem. They make it a such big time. So because they don't know where to ask answers, they don't know. They don't have guidance. They have seen in some movie, some video, this happens.
And
It's
they
all
are doing
fancify.
that.
They think that's real. That's what
Actually.
it should be done. So anything like this. I don't have such things where people don't talk to me. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'm out of all those things. So here also spirituality for youth becomes important. Youth
Exactly.
should take up spirituality.
I'm able to,
It's very important. It's really, really
I'm
important.
able to side by side
In that,
comparison to you and normal teenager. I'm able to see a difference. That yes,
this is the
a
greatest
man.
normal. I tell you, you know, being spiritual is the greatest normal. I can tell you.
Exactly.
This is the actual thing. What the actual thing is, you don't look at that and you attach yourself to all the superficial things. That's abnormal. Knowing the true what you are is the most normal thing.
Exactly. You know you yourself.
Everyone should go normal. I tell you. Yeah, everyone should go normal. People are abnormal now. I tell you.
Exactly.
So
They're making such big issues
then afterwards,
for such a simple things.
yeah. So it's a
It's perfect. Sorry for that.
Bibek, I'll continue.
Okay, please continue.
Your video. Okay, I'll just continue.
Okay.
It's recording, right?
Yes, that's recording.
Great. So spirituality in those, yeah. So spirituality in those aspects of life has really helped me. I've been clear, mental alertness. I'm clear with my decisions. I don't get influenced. One thing is I don't get influenced easily. I take time to know, actually see what is good for me, what's wrong for me. Will this help me? Will this not help me? The mental clarity has increased 100-fold. I'll tell you. I don't take any step immediately, or there's nothing like my life. Like no, I took a sudden decision, and it did negative impacts to me. Not like that. I take time, but come out the best decision.
Exactly. You
Right?
never
And
regret for that at
one
the
thing I
last.
can, with spirituality, yeah, with spirituality, and you can give out good advice, you can impact people's life. That has also happened many times with me. In those aspects, spirituality has just helped me too much. There are
Exactly.
innumerable benefits. If this is only the base, what I
Used
can
to.
tell you,
Exactly.
what
The
I've observed.
minimum.
But internally, I know there are many things which are happening. This is just what
In
I have
microcosm.
observed in 2 years. That's all.
Exactly. That's which you are able to
Yeah,
compare and just get to know what actually the changes you're feeling. But there are numerous of other changes which are going
yes,
on in your inside
they're
in your
very
body, but you are not exposed to that. That seems to be
which I'm not aware of right now, but
good. But
does
surely
happen.
gonna in future, exactly. As you are growing up, learning up, you will be getting exposure to that things as well. And that seems good, according to your
Yes.
the words, I'm able to relate how important it is in your different phase of life from like 15, 14 to this 18, 20, the age of teenage, so-called teenage. The spirituality becomes more
Yes.
important. Exactly. Seems to be good.
Yes.
So,
It's the most
Raj,
important age for spirituality.
exactly. I agreed with your point. Strongly gonna agree with this point. So, Prajwal, I'm able to look at you in Instagram, and you are at Spotify as well, spreading your knowledge. So, why did you choose a podcast as a medium to share your knowledge and just influence people?
So it's a very funny thing why I started a podcast. In this lockdown period, where everything was shut, and not doing it. So one of our English teachers was like, "You need to do something, right? You not
Okay.
waste your time like this." So as English teachers, they suggested a podcast. That time, to actually strike, I didn't know what a podcast was before that.
Okay.
I didn't know Spotify, we have podcasts and stuff where people talk. So then when I got it explained, I was like, wow, this is a wonderful way to impact people's life, right?
Exactly.
So this is the only period in human history where if you tell one thing, it can reach 1 million people at once.
At once, exactly.
Before, no, there have been such great when Buddha came, he got only a few hundred people to follow him. When Jesus came, he
Few
only
thousands
12
people.
people, and that one person freaked out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, when great people of the past came, they could only talk and influence 100 people,
Hardly
1,000 people
100.
when they lived.
Exactly.
When they lived, yeah, hardly very few people. But this is the only
Era.
generation. If I tell one thing, it can impact 1 million people's life at once.
Just in 1 minute.
So we have such a great opportunity. Yeah, we have such a great opportunity here where such beautiful things can be expressed so easily.
Exactly.
So why not take advantage of all these things?
Benefit of that.
Right.
Use it for
When
the
when you
welfare of the human
when you
beings.
have a perspective, when I have a perspective, yeah. Yes, when I have a perspective which I can share. So another thing why I wanted to do it, there are many wonderful people who can do it better than me. I know that. But why I chose to do it is one thing, the teenage issue again. If I tell teenagers, I'll tell them, what I basically do is when people ask me questions or anything, they'll come ask me, Prajwal, this has happened. What can I do for it? What should I do? If I directly start with them, do this spiritual thing and everything, because of that mentality, because of the Baba culture in our India, they'll be like, no, this is useless. I should not do it. Yeah,
Exactly.
because
Sure.
of the basic mentality, I cannot start telling them about spirituality, right? So what I do is I tell them simple things, basic things, and if they get there's some impact in life. I'll tell you one incident I can tell you here. One of my friends, right? She had some issue and everything like that. So if she asked me anything, I used to give her simple, simple advice, right? I used to give simple advice, and it had a great impact on her. These simple things. It was nothing spiritual. I didn't tell her anything spiritual. It had a spiritual base, but it was only a basic thing,
Not so
basic,
much.
therapy. So afterwards, if it impacted her life also, if I tell her now you need to go spiritual is the only way. If they ask me how to go spiritual, what should I do? If I tell them go listen to Sadhguru, go listen to Sri Ravi Shankar, go listen to other people, like those people are useless, those people are fraud, and they'll leave it right there. Right? They'll leave it because of the mentality. The mentality should be blamed. They leave it. So the whole effort here will go waste.
Sure, exactly. The effort which you have in the background.
So one important thing is when teenagers they ask questions, they need someone who's of their age and who they can relate. They want answers from people.
Exactly. They doesn't want any kind of generation gap at that moment.
Those wonderful people, if they tell wonderful things also, people cannot get it because they cannot relate. So it becomes very important that a young person, the language he speaks and the way he can relate, if they listen to them, it is more impactful.
Exactly.
So now
there's no
I
gap
tell because of my friends. Yeah, everyone has 70 years. I speak to them. It's more influential because I tell them my experience along with spiritual aspects with other people. So that's why I knew that if they'll be able to connect well, they'll be able to experience it better. Afterwards, after they get to a certain point, I can tell them I am no one, I'm getting this from all these people. Go to them, it'll help. If I tell them that
at the end,
they'll do it.
They'll do it, but at the beginning, it could not happen possible.
Yeah, it cannot happen. At the beginning, it's something that's very, very relatable. They should be able to relate it well. I cannot tell go follow some person when people have psychological issues.
Exactly.
So there is very important that there is very important that young people step up and they try to spread the message along with their experience, so that people can relate better and they'll have that enthusiasm to come into spirituality. In the sense, enthusiasm, if I tell them, see, at this step issue, at depression, and because of this, I got out of depression. I'm just saying an example here. If I came out of depression because of this spiritual aspect that I followed, that time they'll be enthusiasm. Oh, 16-year-old boy.
He can do that, and I can also do it. Exactly.
He can do it. No, the same thing if a spiritual leader tells, "Oh, do this." And
60 years old, man.
It's a very generic thing, and people will not do it. I have seen that. Yeah.
A big generation gap is coming there. That is the reason, I guess.
Yeah. And it's not relatable. It's not relatable. That's why. The greatest thing is how relatable it is, and they need experiences. Experiences are very important thing. Exactly. I tell this has happened to me because of this spiritual aspect. They'll try to follow it. Yeah.
And that's
why podcast was a very important thing. I used to write scripted down, and I did make 2-3, but after that I just stopped because my 10th grade started, and how busy I am. I became really busy.
I'm also in class 12, and the same is happening with me.
Yeah, so I have to start off again. I do have one video on Insta. I promise people I'll come up with videos. I'm ready with all the content. I should just sit and make them. Yeah, I'll start off soon getting more videos out on Instagram.
All the best.
Come out with beautiful videos.
That is important. Yes, I just checked out your Instagram profile.
So that's why
I found it very impressive.
It's a simple effort. I hope it impacts people's life.
It is,
Yes.
it is impacting, and that is the one of the reason why I came to you, reach out to you, and ask you for being a guest in my show. That is the power of impact.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, that is the things. Please continue with the things. And this is the important things which our generation needs to learn from us. Exactly.
Yes.
So, my YouTube analytics shows that my viewers are from the age group of 16 to 26. So this is the crucial time, and the teen age is also engaged in this period of time. So what actual advice would you like to give and pass a small message to our viewers who are just listening to our podcast to make their life simple and in a good way, in a good direction?
Okay, great. So one message I would like to give is, as we discussed earlier, teenagers have a very different problem as of now. We have different issues and everything. So the best solution, one thing is mainly what if people have problem nowadays, teenagers mainly try to go towards smoking or drinking drugs. These things, they think this is the ultimate solution for everything. There's a breakup, they need alcohol to celebrate. There's a party, they need alcohol to celebrate. What these alcohol, drugs, cigarettes and everything do is an experience of your life. It'll take you somewhere high. It'll make you a bit high, right? That's what the thing is. They want to experience something more than what they're experiencing it right now. With alcohol, it'll happen. With drugs, with ecstasy or anything, any drug, they'll go somewhere up, right? They'll go up somewhere. They'll experience something unusual.
Fly a little bit.
They'll fly. These things do happen. So the basic idea of a human being is it wants to cross boundaries. If you look at it in material aspect also, I have one car, I want two. I have a 20 by 20
house,
20 by 20 or 40 by 40 land. I want a 80 by 80 land.
So
always a human is trying to get something more than what he has now. That's true, that's correct, right? So they are looking at it in many aspects. So if I tell you one thing, that this high with what you get with the alcohols and drugs, you'll take drug, for example, you'll go high and you'll fall down. It falls after some time. If I tell you there's a drug or a substance which can keep you high forever. Okay. High in the sense, I'm not telling you're not having negative impacts with that.
I'm getting
You're just high on life.
Exactly. You're happy.
You're high on life. You're high on experience.
Exactly.
Spirituality is such a drug, I'll tell you. You'll be so happy. People tend to take drugs to become very happy or very sad on things. Spirituality is such a drug that'll make you high, most happiest, most exuberant, most energetic thing. So people should be excited for such things, right? Spirituality is such a beautiful thing, I'll tell you. It can change your whole life. The way you look at it, the way you perceive it, and the way you behave in the world will completely change for the good.
Exactly.
It's very difficult to explain in words, but when you actually start doing something, when you start experiencing it, you'll get it.
It's easier to understand.
It is, it's a more experiential process, spirituality. So the benefits are innumerable. It's great, I'll tell you. So any issue you have can be easily solved with simple steps. You'll not believe me, but if I give you simple tools, if I give you simple things that you can do, do it. There's no loss if you do it for 10 days, 15 days. I tell you, it will give you an impact. It will give you a result. Don't have superficial ideas. Don't have preconceived notions about what it is. Don't try to fit it into your logical understanding. Spirituality, people try to fit it in logical understanding.
Exactly. They want to mix it.
Don't assume anything. Just try out spirituality. I'm telling you, all the teenagers, just try it out. Like any other thing you want to try in the world, like a drug, alcohol, people now they aim. On my 18th birthday, I want to go drink. People have aimed it when they're 15. That is the generation we are living in, right? So when you want to try everything in the world, all the things, why shouldn't you try something as beautiful as spirituality? Just try it for a few days, just try it for a few weeks. If it does have, it will have impact, I'm sure about that. And after it has an impact, you cannot leave it. I'll tell you, it is an addiction. It's the greatest addiction. A spiritual addiction is the greatest addiction. You will
Exactly, you can
never
do
be
in
able
your
to
life
leave it. Yeah, because it has an impact. So
in a good
just
way.
try it out
Impact in a good way.
in a good way, in a wonderful way. So just try it out like any other thing. It will give you results. That's what I want to tell.
Seems to be good. Very precise and a very knowledgeable answer on your side. So, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Prajwal, for being with us and letting us know your journey and sharing a valuable, knowledge which is stored in your this mind. And all the best for your upcoming podcast and 10th exams
Thank
as
you.
well. Thank you, Prajwal.